Welcome to Comic Core Daily. I am Dru Manchu, and I am here for you. I've also got a little bit of help today in the form of a co-host and a guest. I'm going to bring him on in just a moment, but I want to let you know that this is Comic Core Daily. We're doing this show daily, every day, every single weekday. Weekday, not weekends. I'm doing this on the weekends. Every single weekday at 1:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, immediately following Discovery Bay's What's On Today with Discovery Bay, and a block of programming that I've dubbed the Longbox Lunchbreak. Come and see us, talk in the chat. We got all kinds of stuff going on for you guys. We got segments galore. I've even got a commercial break today, but first I want to get into my guest of honor, Comics with Bueller. Bueller, how are things going out there?
It's going all right, man. As good as can be expected, I guess, in this day and age. I'm doing my part. I'm keeping my social distancing at where it's supposed to be. That's a whole new term that we've now learned. It's in our vocabulary for the rest of our lives. But I'm doing all right, so thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to have you on because you just dropped a video today about our main topic that we're going to get to in a segment I like to call Nerd News. I love nerd news. We're going to talk about some news today, and that news is ComicHub. Now, those of you who don't know what ComicHub is this new system that's being touted as the savior of the comics industry. The shutdown because of the quarantines and the stay-in-place orders and all the COVID-19 precautions has caused Diamond Distributing to shutter its doors for the time being. They had a monopoly on the distribution of print comic books in the world at this point, really. And with they're not getting new product, stores aren't getting new product, and even if they can be open in their areas, they're not going to be able to acquire new inventory with which to supply the public. So in comes ComicHub, and basically it's the reverse of a digital code in a print comic. You buy the digital comic, the store gets the money for the digital comic, and then when the order is filled, eventually you will get your print comic from your LCS. This seems to be a really, really great motivator for people to get out there and keep buying comics, to keep the stories going, to keep the interest alive, and still support the LCSs. But wait, it might not be as good as everybody thinks it's going to be, because we don't know who is signed up to be a part of this deal. But the LCS owners just don't seem to be having it. In one online forum poll, the retailers had 119 retailers opposed the idea, 17 were unsure, and only 5 saw it as a positive deal. With LCS owners reaching out and saying that they're not going to be getting the discounts that they're getting through Diamond for their orders. So it's a lower profit margin, and it's also going to migrate readers to the digital platforms, which in turn is going to be a long-term problem for these LCSs. Also, that when this inventory finally comes in, they're going to be inundated with all of these books at the same time to try to get to these customers, to try to get organized, to try to put on shelves. So at this point, it's kind of up in the air as to whether this is going to work for anybody. Bueller, I know you had some thoughts on this. Let me know. What do you think about this?
Well, first thing, this is all an app, is what it is. It's an app or a software piece. They're not. I think one of the misleading things is people think that they are taking the place of Diamond. They're not distributing any comic books whatsoever. They don't do any print runs or nothing like that. This is an app developed by a comic shop owner in New Zealand that has his own comic shop, and he's had this app up and running for some time, and he's now reworking it to feature this option right now. You can then go and look at this app. It's been available just go read the reviews that people have used it. They're not positive. There are about 8 out of 10 reviews are negative on this app. You can just go look it up. It's really easy to find. A lot of people think that it's replacing Diamond. It's not. All it's doing is giving you a digital copy of the book to read, making your LCS pay a fee, some type of charge, or splitting the profits that the LCS would normally just get in full. Those profits are being split between the LCS and this app. They're not doing this for free. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're trying to make money. And then eventually they get these books in, and Diamond is still the one that distributes these books. So all it is doing is adding another step to a comic shop owner, an LCS, and taking the LCS's clientele, and they have to input their information into this third party, and this third party can do whatever they want with this information down the road. They can eventually say, instead of us splitting the revenue with the LCS, why don't we just ship directly to them and have Diamond send them directly to them, and we'll take all the profits themselves and cut out the LCS. That's why there might be a problem with this, and that's why local comic shops aren't on board. Not to mention, I'm now hearing that they haven't even contacted Marvel or DC about doing this whatsoever. So this is all pie in the sky thoughts with no real foundation behind it. They haven't even talked to Diamond about it. I don't know. The more I look at it, the more it seems like it was an April Fool's joke, to be totally honest.
I think it's maybe just this guy trying to get his name and his app out there and trying to cash in while the opportunity's there, and more power to him. I hope that he does well. I hope that the app takes off, but I don't think that this is a solution for the problem that we have at this point in time. It is yet to be seen. Guys, let me know in the chat what you think about what's going on with ComicHub. Hit me up in the comments down below if you're watching the rewind. Let us know what you think. We want to know what's going on in your heads as well. And make sure you check out Bueller's channel for that video where he goes into much more detail than we do here. That's a great opportunity to learn.
I've met this guy. This guy was actually just recently at the Comics Pro event here in Portland about 2 months ago, where they did the presentation for this app. They literally I sat in a room with a couple hundred different comic shop owners, and this guy did a PowerPoint presentation on how this worked, and he described it as the Netflix version of comics. That's what it was. And that's how he was selling it to the people in the audience. Trust me, there was nobody was leaving that room like, oh man, I can't wait to sign up for this. That was not the conversation they were having. This guy, and I don't know him personally, I just saw him and, said hello or something like that, From what I understand, he kind of strong arms himself a little bit, into markets, and kind of, he lets his voice be heard in a, if you don't agree with him, he lets you know and kind of badmouth you or something like that. I don't have any personal experience with the gentleman, but that's kind of what I heard. And it's not just him; it's him and a group of people that are working together to try to bring this on board. I don't like it just in general because I think it just it muddies the waters even more, and it just takes more revenue out of your LCS and it puts it into this thing instead.
I agree, and I think that this doesn't sound like it's got legs. Let's go ahead and move on to the chat real quick before we go any further with the show. Magoo Fitzfarter, one of the best names on YouTube, is in the chat. Boy Who Had Sevens in the chat. We got Perry's Comics in the chat. Patrick Kelly's in the chat. All kinds of people hanging out in the chat. I want to go ahead and make sure that we get as much interaction going on this show on a daily basis as possible, guys. Make sure you're in that chat, hanging out, having a good time. Share this video out. Let's build something here on what I like to call the Longbox lunch break. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to Christian Oro Salazar is in the chat as well. What's going on, Christian? We're going to go ahead and move on to my next segment. I like to shout out the community in my own special way. And how do we do that around here? I'm going to talk about something. I woke up this morning, I was on the toilet, and I was looking at Instagram. So this is some cool stuff. This right here, Sam I Am 915 opened up a pack of smokes from Nooligan and got some really great sketches. There's a League of Their Own sketch in here, a really great Daredevil sketch, a fantastic Luke Skywalker, kind of in the middle-aged period of his life. And there's also some other stuff in here, a really nice Joker design card, that really cool top hat sketch in the middle there, and a tattooed Astro Boy. Some really cool stuff. I was really happy that Sam I Am 915 shared that out. There are underscores in the spaces of his name. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram. The link is down in the description of this video. Give him some love, man. He gave me something to do while I was dropping number 2, and we appreciate you. Sam I Am 915. Hit him up. Let him know that Dru Manchu and the Comic War sent you. That right there was a segment I like to call That Was Cool Stuff on Instagram. Now, guys, cool. We're going to try something new here, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, okay? All right? In a world where every fan convention is being canceled or postponed, and social distance must be maintained, one convention refused to back down. One convention evolved to become something more. Mainframe Comic Con. April 25th and 26th, an absolutely free 2-day online interactive con experience that you can enjoy right from the comfort and safety of your own home. Celebrity guest interviews, comic industry professionals, cosplay contests, and so much more. Check out the website at mainframecomiccon.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram at Mainframe Comic Con for our ever-growing list of guests and emerging schedule of events. That's April 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days, absolutely free. Mainframe Comic Con. We're bringing the convention to you. All right, guys, that was an advertisement for Mainframe Comic Con. You guys want to go and check out mainframecomiccon.com. Link is in the description below. Follow them on Instagram. Link is in the description below. It's going to be absolutely free, and there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff going on all weekend long of the 25th and the 26th. So be sure to check that out. Now, our next segment is going to be the top 5 unpopular opinions in comic books of Dru Manchu. Get ready, folks. All right, guys, unpopular opinion number 5. Days of Future Past is my least favorite X-Men film. They put Tyrion Lannister in it for no reason. It's all about Mystique. Wolverine is just a too big a part of the story of him going back in time. There's plenty of options they had here, guys. And the fact that this is touted as one of the best X-Men films drives me absolutely insane. Apocalypse was better. Dark Phoenix was better. X3 was better. Wolverine Origins was more fun. Maybe you guys didn't agree with that, but that's why it's an unpopular opinion. Also, number 4, Green Lantern is a C-list character. I don't care how many Jeff Johns issues there are. I don't care how much it's blamed on the movie for him being bad. Nobody cares about Hal Jordan. Nobody cares about the Corps. Ask your grandma if she knows who Green Lantern is. She doesn't, because he doesn't matter. She knows Flash. She might even know Green Arrow, right? She might even know Green Arrow, but she doesn't know the Green Lantern because the Green Lantern is a C-list character. He's got a ring where he makes wishes, and the only thing that can hurt him is the color yellow. That's freaking dumb. Green Lantern, not that great. Number 3, unpopular opinion, Captain Marvel was a better movie than Black Panther. Both of these are quality films. I'm not going to disparage Black Panther for what it is. I thought it was a really great superhero movie. But you know what we're going to do after we fight on the waterfall to see who's the king? We're going to fight on the waterfall again to see who's the king. It's the most repetitive thing I think I've ever seen in modern superhero movies. And Captain Marvel was a fun romp all the way through. Nick Fury making jokes. There was a cat who wasn't a cat. There were Skrulls. Ben Mendelsohn was great. It gets a lot of hate. I don't know why it was better than Black Panther. And that is my number 3 unpopular opinion. Number 2, unpopular opinion. John Romita Jr. is a great artist with a unique style that adds to any story he's tasked with drawing. I have some examples here. Superman, beautiful. Kick-Ass, look at that iconic cover. Man, everybody was digging for this thing. Why? It's John Romita Jr. Why would they? Oh, it's beautiful. That's why. Look at this classic Trial of Magneto, double-sized issue. Everybody loves this cover. And this was the first comic book that I bought with my own money. This started me as a comic book fan. It was this John Romita Jr. cover with a beautiful, beautiful, sparkly background. John Romita Jr. is a national treasure. And my number 1 unpopular comic book opinion. The CW Arrowverse is trash. It's absolutely terrible. If you're looking for a good show on the CW, watch that Archie show. Watch the Josie and the Pussycats hang out with Jughead in Riverdale. Watch the Serpents or whatever the heck's going on with that. You know, rest in peace, Luke Perry. We miss you. We miss you. We miss you dearly. The CW Arrowverse is awful. It's everything that's bad about CW dramas and nothing that's good about superheroes. People need to stop settling. I know that your DC movies aren't any good. I know that you can't go to the cinema and enjoy these characters. Don't settle for what they're giving you, folks. The CW Arrowverse is trash. You might disagree with me. That's okay. That's what makes it an unpopular comic book opinion. Bueller, do you have any unpopular comic book opinions?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. One of my most unpopular ones is that Rob Liefeld is my favorite artist of all time, and he can draw feet and pouches like no other. And people give Rob Liefeld a hard time because of what he said about DC last year. There was some truth to that. Come to find out a year later, what he was talking about had a little bit more weight to it than what people thought at the time. And to kind of recognize that a year later and see some things actually start to happen at DC, what he mentioned kind of gives him a little bit more weight in what he's saying, even though he's nuts and he's crazy. And that's really kind of why I like him, because he is that way. He's the Jose Canseco of the comic book industry. People never took Jose Canseco serious when he was saying, "Oh, everyone's on steroids." Well, look what happened. Everyone was on steroids, and he was right. Rob Liefeld, the Jose Canseco of comic books.
I absolutely love that analogy.
Yeah. It's not bad. Another one, I'd say Avengers Endgame is my third favorite Avengers movie, behind Avengers Infinity War, behind the regular Avengers, and then Avengers Endgame would be the third favorite out of the whole 4 Avengers movies. Just right above Age of Ultron, but not by much, to be totally honest with you. So those are my probably unpopular opinions.
All right, gang, that was my top 5 unpopular comic book opinions. Bueller's top 2 unpopular comic opinions. We'll take it.
Good.
We'll take it, man. Oh, Comics Misexplained hopped in the chat. Liefeld takes steroids confirmed. Boy Who Had Seven says Endgame is the best. That's why these are unpopular opinions, folks. They're unpopular.
Second from the worst.
I'm glad to have everybody in the chat chatting it up. This is the time when I need to chat the most. We're going to pose this first to our guest, but then we're going to open it up to the chat and see what people have to say about the question of the day. As I espouse my love for the Captain Marvel movie, I think we should talk about this, folks. I know the great legend's in the chat, and he's got some opinions. Who is the real Captain Marvel? Bueller, who's the real Captain Marvel?
Carol Danvers.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna say that to piss people off. it's probably a Shazam, but come on, let's just make some people mad or whatever.
Comics Miss Plains thinks it's Shazam.
Yeah,
he's wrong. You're wrong too. His name's Marvel.
Marvel. There you go.
It's his actual name. He's a Kree warrior who turns on his Kree to save the humanity. Man, what a guy he was. He was just fantastic. When he was wearing that green costume, that was really good.
No,
then he put on, he got the nega bands, and he got his blue and yellow and red costume, and he was trading places with Rick Jones, the Hulk's little buddy. He became the reason for Rick Jones to be a thing. Ben Compton says Shazam. Got Hack 79 says Shazam, of course.
He's a DC guy.
Comic Book G-Spot says Marvel. I got to go with Galvin on this one.
Yep. I usually go with whatever he says, I go with.
The real Captain Marvel is Captain Marvel just because Marvel isn't a captain. He was a captain. He was the first captain. He wasn't just a Superman ripoff. I mean, I guess I legally can't say that. They settled that a long time ago. But DC let the Captain Marvel copyright lapse. So William Bird says Stan Lee is Captain Marvel. I like that idea as well. Not a valid choice. But this isn't a contest.
Did you see the Shazam movie? Did you like that one?
I really did like the Shazam movie. I thought it was great. It's my favorite DC movie since the Batman trilogies.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
Nah.
That should have been your unpopular comic book opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
We're done with that segment.
I didn't like that one. Didn't like Aquaman. Didn't like any of them. Didn't like Wonder Woman.
You know what the thing? I didn't like Wonder Woman either. I thought it was trash. But the thing about Aquaman that I liked is it's very much like a Fast and the Furious movie. The second you started asking questions about the plot, a wall exploded and a fight started. So it was paced perfectly. So you had fun with it, but I would never go back and revisit it.
Yeah, I didn't like the Joker movie either.
I hated the Joker movie.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's pretty much split the people. People either absolutely loved it or hated it. So, yeah, that's why I didn't go with that for one of my unpopular opinions. But I could talk for 8.5 hours about how much I hate the Joker and everything that's wrong with that. And we talked yesterday about the new BVS commentary. Did you see that Snyder put out a new BVS commentary?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's for people on quarantine, so he could talk about all the things he was going to do. So people bug Warner Brothers for a Snyder cut so he gets it on their paycheck. And he said stupid things like Wonder Woman was going to be set in the Civil War. And he said that Martha was going to be the same woman. Like Martha Wayne survived, went into witness protection, and in Kansas raced Superman. It's like the dumbest idea that I think he's ever had.
Did you see that Jay and Silent Bob reboot movie?
I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I'm very excited to. I know that Kevin Smith's going to be a guest of the Comic Con. So
yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Maybe we'll get to ask him some questions about it.
I watched a little bit of that movie the other day, and like Ben Affleck's in there, and he's talking about. He's like, I can't remember the mother's name of Batman. So he's literally making a joke. of like Batman's mom's name. He's like, I can't remember her name for some reason. He like looks at the camera when he says it and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, and explains dead on. He said that some soldier that knew too much was actually Martian Manhunter. That's the main soldier, Stanwyck or whatever, and that's actually been confirmed. He knew during Man of Steel that he was going to be Martian Manhunter. That's like the one thing I feel like has legs on everything he talked about, and it was like the entire length of the movie, and I like an hour in, I bailed. I was like, that I can't listen to this guy anymore. Yeah. So that right there was my final segment, guys. That was the question of the day. We're going to come up with some reasons for you guys to answer the question of the day. As of right now, you're just, having a good time with us. We got 37 watching, and it's been almost a half hour. I'm getting ready to wrap things up. Make sure you guys, if you haven't been here before, hit that subscription button. We've got great content from the Comic Con. I'm going to run that down at the end of the show here. Bueller, you let me know what you got going on your channel before we get out of here.
Well, as of late, a lot of my videos I haven't been able to do because there's no new comics, and a lot of my videos are based on new comics, like previews and top 10s. So I've been focusing on my other channel, Travis T. That's my live channel. I do all my live streams on there. And if you haven't checked out that channel, it's Travis T. It's a featured channel on my regular Comics with Bueller channel where you just type in and search and find it. And normally I go on there daily and talk about random stuff. Like today I talked about the ComicHub thing for about an hour and some other things. So if you got the time, go check that out. And I'll probably be on there tomorrow. So there you go.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Bueller. Make sure you guys check out Travis T. Follow Bueller on the Instagrams. Follow him all over the place. You know where to find him. Just type Bueller into the machine. He'll start coming up. Make sure that you're checking out his content and go and look at a deeper look at this whole ComicHub situation in a video that he put out earlier today, or was that last night?
It was, I talked about a little bit last night on my regular channel, Comics with Bueller. I did a video, but I went a little bit more deeper this morning on the Travis T channel. I did about an hour about this after I read a little bit more about it. I found out more about it, and kind of able to give my opinion a little bit better this morning. So go check that out.
Definitely going to do that after we wrap up here because I want to know more about the situation, which is exactly why I brought it up today. Thank you so much for stopping in, and everybody, go check out Bueller. If you're not subbed to Bueller yet, what the hell are you even doing here? All right, guys. Before I get out of here, I want to say another special thank you to our guest today. I'm going to run that ad one more time so everybody gets a chance to see what we got going on the weekend of the 25th and the 26th. But I want everybody that is in the chat right now to go click on the Comic Core, click on the community page, and vote. Because every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on Modern Men, we have a brand new story that we read book club style, and we let you pick the book. This is from yesterday. Spider-Man Life Story was in the lead. It still is at the moment, but that could change if everybody goes and they vote. We got Chew by Layman and Guillory, God Country by Donny Cates, Gideon Falls by Jeff Lemire, and X-Men 92 trailing behind. Let us know what you want us to read, and then stop by Monday night. JB from Discovery Bay Comics, Comic Man Andy, myself, and our host, Carson Seawood 19. He's going to be there. Choose what we read, gang. We want to see you there. Every Tuesday night, we got Golden Guys. It's talking about Golden Age comics. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Every weeknight on the Comic Core except for Thursday. Wednesday, we do the comedy show. Greatest comic book show ever. John's Comics with Kids, White Whale. They do a fantastic job. Make sure you're checking out this content. And Friday night, we go live with the original A show, the Comic Core Roundtable. Every Friday night, we're going to talk comics for you. Also, I'm going to be here every day, every weekday at least, at 1:15 p.m. to show you guys what's going on Instagram, to tell you what's going on in my head with my top 5, and to talk about the topics of the day. Make sure you guys come in and see us again tomorrow, because I'm going to be talking about all kinds of things I don't even know what they are yet. They're so fresh in my head that I haven't even had the ideas. I'm going to need you guys to come in and see us on that one. One more time before we end the stream, I'm going to go ahead and play this video. In a world where every fan convention is being canceled or postponed, and social I screwed it up. I'm starting it over. In a world where every fan convention is being canceled or postponed, and social distance must be maintained, one convention refused to back down. One convention evolved to become something more. Mainframe Comic Con. April 25th and 26th, an absolutely free 2-day online interactive con experience that you can enjoy right from the comfort and safety of your own home. Celebrity guest interviews, comic industry professionals, cosplay contests, and so much more. Check out the website at mainframecomiccon.com and be sure to follow us on Instagram at Mainframe Comic Con for our ever-growing list of guests and emerging schedule of events. That's April 25th and 26th, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days, absolutely free. Mainframe Comic Con. We're bringing the convention to you.